NBA 2K26 is dropping in less than 2 weeks, and we already know a bunch about the My Player Builder. So today, I'm going to be giving you guys one of the best and safest lockdown builds to start out NBA 2K26 with. Let's get right into it. We're going to make this build at shooting guard, 6'6" for the height. So we are going to be quick enough to keep up with the small guards, but we're also tall enough to guard those bigger players, the 6'9s, the 6'10s out there that are looking super good. 231 for the weight and max wingspan at 7'2". And here is the full lockdown build right here, but I have a lot to explain on how to use the build specialization, how to use your cap breakers, and how to use the new badge perks. And since this is a pure lockdown build, let's start out with the defensive attributes. We get an 88 interior, which does give us gold post lockdown, bronze paint controller, and Hoff off-ball pest. Our perimeter defense is going to start at a 90, and like I said, we are going to use the build specialization for defense, and once we complete all of those challenges, that's going to give us 2 cap breakers, which we will then apply to perimeter defense, upgrading it to a 92. And that 92 perimeter will then give us gold on-ball menace and gold challenger, but we're also going to use the +2 badge perk from the build specialization to get our on-ball menace all the way up to legend, and then we're going to use the +1 from the build specialization to get Hall of Fame challenger. And moving down to our steal, we're going to start out with a 94 for gold glove and Hall of Fame interceptor. And once you get those first 5 cap breakers, I would definitely add them to steal, which will give you a 99 steal for both of these steal badges on legend. But we will have more badge perks, so before you even get that steal up to a 99, you can still use a +2 to get legend glove, and you can use the +1 to get legend interceptor. And then finally for defense, we do have a 78 block, which does give us silver high flying denier, bronze paint controller, and bronze pogo stick. And it is important to keep in mind, a lot of physicals are linked to all of these badges. So real quick, going over our physicals, we have an 85 speed, 85 agility, and 85 strength, which does give us that gold immovable enforcer. And since we are 6'6", gold immovable enforcer is a tier 2 badge, so we're going to use a tier 2 badge perk +2 to get legend immovable enforcer, which is going to be crazy good on this build. And we also get a 74 vertical for silver high flying denier. So defensively, this build is super well rounded, but we also need to be able to shoot pretty consistently. So we are going to start out with an 83 3-ball, which does give us bronze limitless, silver deadeye, silver set shot, and silver shifty shooter. That shifty shooter does actually come from the 87 mid-range shot, and just having a higher mid-range will give us access to more jump shots. So we should be a pretty consistent shooter on this build. And I know this might not be for everyone, but every single build I make, especially a shorter build like this one, I do like to have a little bit of ball handle and a little bit of speed with ball. So I went with an 81 ball handle for silver handles for days, silver unpluckable, and Hall of Fame strong handle. And we do also have a 75 speed with ball for silver lightning launch. Our pass accuracy is not too high, but most of the time we're going to be sitting in the corner doing backdoor cuts, so I don't think you need too high of a pass accuracy. But if you do get the ball, you can do a quick 1 or 2 moves, get to your mid-range, get to the rim. So I do like to have a little bit of ball handle on a lockdown build, but you don't have to do this if you're not planning on dribbling too much. Moving up to our finishing, we definitely don't have anything too crazy. A 45 standing dunk for both standing dunk animations, a 55 driving dunk. This does give us the Klay Thompson dunk package, which is pretty solid. We got a 66 layup, which just naturally rised up to that, and then a 73 close shot, which does give us at least bronze paint prodigy. So if we're open in the paint, we can definitely finish, but we're definitely not a slasher by any means. And then lastly, moving down to our rebound on this build, we have an 80 offensive rebound for silver rebound chaser, silver box out beast. Our defensive rebound automatically goes to a 68, but the offensive rebound is a lot cheaper, so I decided to put that to an 80 and leave the defensive at a 68. So that is the full lockdown build right there. But one more time, I'm going to go ahead and explain how to use the build specialization and how to use the badge perks to get this build as good as possible. So like I said, we're going to do defensive build specialization. That's going to give us 2 cap breakers to apply to perimeter, getting it to a 92. We're going to use the +2 badge perk to get legend on ball menace, and the +1 badge perk to get Hall of Fame Challenger. Then we're also going to have a +2 tier 1, which we're going to get Legend Glove. We're going to have a +1 tier 1 to get Legend Interceptor. And then we still have our tier 2. The +2 tier 2 is going to get us Legend Immovable Enforcer. And then finally, we have a +1 tier 2, which I would probably just add to Paint Patroller, getting it up to silver. Now, I know that might be a little bit confusing, but you guys will definitely start to understand once we actually get our hands on NBA 2K26. But I'm telling you, this is going to be a super solid and safe lockdown build. You're going to be able to dribble a little bit. You can shoot really well. Around the rim, you're not too good, but that's kind of part of it. You're really good defensively. You can block shots. You're going to have a 99 steal eventually once you get those cap breakers, a whole bunch of legend defensive badge, and not to mention we have super good physicals on this build as well. So if you guys like this build, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel for more NBA 2K26 content. Thanks for watching. Peace.